Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.
Hey everybody, y'all know how I do. Give my famous introduction. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining Life Chat Podcast. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be with us and discuss the topic at hand. First of all, I want to start off by saying how beautiful this weather is. You know, I love the weather, and it was actually so good. It was so beautiful outside, so nice and warm outside. I wanted to do this episode outside tonight, but due to the fact that there are a lot of bugs floating around and, you know, tearing me up while I was out there earlier, I decided not to. But I think for the next next couple episodes, if the weather's right, I'll probably be doing them outside, and we'll be able to enjoy a little bit of nature. But I hope you all enjoyed y'all's day, because I know I did. So let's get right into it. Today we're going to discuss business and entertainment and recovery with our guest for the evening, Miss Marilyn Moor. And from what I understand, y'all, I think that the limousine is pulled up. I think she's getting out of the limousine and she's walking across the field and she's about to enter the studio, y'all. So let's give it up for Miss Marilyn Moor. Hey, Miss Marilyn, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I am. Thanks for being on. Thanks for accepting the invite. I am well. But what I wanted to discuss was, you know, just the fact that we are here tonight. We made it. You know, life throws us some situations sometimes, but we both made it. And I was explaining, I don't know if you heard, I'm sure you heard that I wanted to do it outside, but the bugs were attacking me out there earlier, so we had to do it inside tonight. But let's jump right in. Who is Marilyn Moor? Let's find out who's in the studio tonight. Let's discuss Miss Marilyn Moor.
Yeah. So, hi everybody. My name's Marilyn. Like Monroe, not Manson. My little joke there. I am in recovery. I have been for 14 years. My recovery date, I guess to say, is February 11th, 2011. So I'll kind of start. Like, I was born and raised in Delaware. I was adopted. I didn't find out until I was like 9. And when I did, like, that was really hard for me. I already felt like different in my family, like, well, just I didn't look like my parents, and like my mom was short and she has blonde hair, and like I obviously have brown hair, and like well, now it's red, but so like I just started to notice I didn't look like my parents, and people at school would say stuff, oh, well, you don't look like your mom, you know. So when I did find out, I just felt more alone and confused and didn't know like where I came from, I guess. And I isolated, and that kind of like affected me in a big way. I'm not sure now if I would want to know or not know, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad that I did know. And then so that was kind of one major life event. And then when I was 12, I had an accident with my teeth, and I like tried to jump off like a retaining wall, and I tripped on a wire.
Why would you jump off a retaining wall? You were a little tomboy.
So I was playing with friends in the neighborhood, and one of the kids had done the same thing and like was holding his nose and bleeding. So like I tried to jump down to help him. And when I tried to jump, I also tripped and fell face forward, basically like biting the curb. It was crazy. So when I hit, I landed on a flagstone, And like as soon as I jumped up and ran home because I was only like a house away in the neighborhood. And yeah, it was crazy. Like my aunt was up the street looking for my teeth that were not longer showing, and um, my mom and my uncle drove me to AI DuPont or Nemours Hospital, and got help for that right away. But I went through like years of surgery with my teeth and missing school and just already not feeling comfortable with myself, and then dealing with that tragic accident. And then like I was also like turning 13, 14, where I was all of a sudden self-conscious about myself and um, cared what people thought about me. And then I had like this huge bar on my teeth, and like it was just an uncomfortable time then.
You went through that whole makeup phase, didn't you? As a female, as a young girl at that age, you went through the whole makeup phase where you wanted to do different things with yourself. Like
I
the Cindy
never,
Lauper movies.
I never really, I was more like, I did my nails. I like doing like, I don't now, but I like doing my nails myself and like making crazy designs and stuff. And like, that was fun for me then. But um, so yeah, I don't know. I never really wore makeup. I wear a little bit in general, but not, I was never really a makeup person.
I'm just glad that you mentioned initially you brought up the fact that you felt how you felt uncomfortable with with the family situation because you were adopted and you didn't feel like you remember being you know I don't want to say insecure but feeling I'm going to say out of place because you felt like there was a gap there was a difference there and you recognized it, and some of us don't recognize that type of stuff, and a lot of times those type of things, that's where our some of our issues started with esteem, self-esteem,
Hmm.
and identity issues. But a lot of people, you don't hear a lot of people. I don't hear a lot of people discuss those type of things. Those
Yeah.
type of situations or issues. So can you lead into how you feel those situations led you know uh, move helped you move well, played a part in your life after that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I had the accident, it was the first time that I was introduced to opiates. Even though it was legitimate, and because I had a serious accident, I needed them. I also liked it, um,
Yeah.
even being that young. Um, and then it was multiple years later before I actually like started using, but um that I do remember like that first time that I felt the use of drugs. Um, and then when I guess I was like 16, I lost a friend in a car accident. Um, they were using and driving down like a windy back road, and out of control, hit a tree, and it was just a really bad accident, and that like super affected me. And like I just didn't know how to cope with grief. I didn't know how to lose somebody that I cared about.
Mhm.
And death has always been like a huge trigger for me. Um, and it's definitely a part of life and that we don't really talk about much. Um,
I think the fear
so
factor is
that
there when it
really,
comes to that.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so anyway, I believe in signs.
I was
I currently see signs in my life from ones who've passed on. Um, I get a lot of number signs. My dad was also born and raised in Delaware. His father was the mayor of Middletown at one point, I think in like the late 70s. And he owned a bar on Route 40 called the Triple Nickel. And
Triple
um,
nickel.
yeah, the Triple Nickel. And it was like a country bar. Um,
I could
he met
imagine
my
with a name like Triple Nickel. Name like Triple Nickel. I don't think it. I know that. I know it looked like a country bar.
yeah. So he also met my mother there at this bar. So that was kind of like their story. And then my dad was also um, an alcoholic. So before they adopted me, like he had went and got sober at a rehab, and during that time, he chose to like sell the bar. My mom moved them to a different house, and they adopted me. So I'm sure that was like a huge change, like he changed everything all at once. Having a baby, a new house, a wife, and sold the bar and got sober. So I never really saw my dad be an alcoholic,
All
which
this
was
happened at the
amazing.
same. All this happened at the same time. So dealing with sobriety,
Yeah,
he was dealing with sobriety, well, dealing with um, getting sober while all this other stuff was taking place.
yeah. So, um,
Whoa.
yep. Uh, it's pretty crazy, but so the triple nickel, I see 555 everywhere. Um, I see it on the clock. I see it on license plates. Like, and every time I do, I feel like my dad's there saying, like, I'm here with you, like, rooting for you. Um, keep going, like, which has been a huge, like, I just feel him, So, and I lost my dad while I was in recovery, and that was really hard. He passed away in 2015. Um, and I came home from from where I went to treatment in 2012. So I had been home a couple years, and um, it was a really hard process. He got diagnosed with cancer, and he didn't choose to fight it because he was already living with chronic pain, and just not.
Tired.
He was tired, yeah. So how could I be selfish and ask him to stay for me, um and that's a whole that's a whole nother conversation, but
Well, maybe we
um
can have another. Maybe we can have another episode with about this. I want to
yeah,
know with the
right,
business. I want to know how you move forward. What was your recovery process? What was your recovery process
yeah,
that brought you to the point of business and entertainment? And can you elaborate on what that is for you? What that looked like for you?
yeah. So how I kind of went to treatment is a crazy crazy story, but um it was like this whole process started the night of the last episode of Lost, which is so funny. It was a TV show a long
I
time
remember.
ago, and it was
I
the
remember Lost.
last episode. And I went out for one last time so I could get what I needed before I was going to watch this episode. And I got arrested, and I didn't make it home to see that
So you got lost.
because, yeah. Um, I was with a friend, and we used, and she overdosed, and I called the cops. And apparently, like back then, like there wasn't any law when you do that to like that you'll be okay. So
The Good Samaritan law.
I just called the cops and stayed, and then got arrested because there wasn't any protecting laws then. Now there is. I'm not sure what exactly it's called, but
That's not the good. That's the Good Samaritan law, right?
yes, yep, thank you. Um, yeah, so thank God for whoever did that. um, but my friend was okay then, and it started my whole recovery process. I ended up in a long-term sober living house, and I spent 18 or a year there, but a total in treatment for 18 months. I believe that treatment should be as long as possible. I don't think that 30 days um, or 60 or 90 even come close to helping someone, especially if they've been out on running for a long time. It takes, I believe personally, that it takes like a good 1 to 3 to even get back to,
Yeah, because that's
semi-normal again.
those short periods, they just like the 28-day places and the 60-day places, they work. I mean, they help. In my opinion, they help because they get the ball rolling. They
Yeah,
help you to start. Get clean, to dry out, to start getting your mental work with your mental state, get your mental state back stable slightly. But you are
yeah.
right. It's not enough to just say, "Hey, I'm healed. Look at me, I'm back." I don't believe
Yeah,
that's
so
the
the
case. So
clouds are just kind of becoming lifted at that point. After 30 days, you're kind of just a little less cloudy. And then the work kind of begins. So I did a total of 18 months in treatment, really working the steps. I had a counselor and a sponsor in treatment, and I had a hard time with that because um, talking about recovery meetings and stuff, there is a bunch of different recovery avenues with the AA and NA and whatever it is.
ACOA, all the
Yeah,
A's.
which is great. I love that. I root for every avenue of recovery, which kind of, will bring us into the business aspect and the music piece. But um, so I
I was
came
gonna say,
home.
go ahead, go ahead,
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
I came home from treatment. I didn't have a car. I lived like kind of far from my job. At that point, um, I had gotten my teeth fixed through the transitional housing I was living in, like through DVR. Yeah, like they helped me get dental work, and I got a partial plate, and um, because before, like, I would talk and I would cover my mouth when I talked because I didn't like my teeth. And now, like, nowadays, like, dental care is definitely a luxury, and it's really sad. Like, I hope I can help people find resources for that now. But yeah, that was a huge,
How would you go
huge
about
help.
that? How would you go
So I
about it?
know,
You
like,
just mentioned helping. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going on
How would you
this.
go? How would you go about help? You just mentioned helping others find resources for the dental issues. How would you go about?
Hmm.
How would you go about that? What do you have to offer for that? What is your? How would you direct them?
Yeah, so brings us to the new business I opened. So
There you go. There you go.
yeah, so I am opening a mobile cafe food truck um, and recovery hub. So it's called Rerouted Cafe and Recovery Hub, and I'm gonna have Ayurvedic light fare and herbal tea. And Ayurvedic is like a way of eating, like clean eating. So everything's like I could basically grow everything myself. It's all natural. Like you're feeding your body the nutrients it needs, um, which I've had a lot of health issues in recovery, which is life on life's terms. Hence why I'm trying to do that piece as well and offer just another healthy option in the food truck industry. And by doing that, I am able to also provide resources for people to get help, like for addiction, for PTSD, mental health, eating disorders, just resources in general.
And that's
Go
I
ahead.
gotta give you the applause. I have to give you the applause for that because a lot of times, we deal with stuff either mentally or physically, and once we get ourselves together or we work on getting ourselves together, we just move on, because
Yeah,
we feel like we got it. But in my opinion, it's about reaching back, like you just said. It's about giving back and trying to help somebody else that may be dealing with struggling with the same situations, because you know what it feels like. You know
yeah,
what the whole outcome is going to be. But
right.
I also want to know what
So how
is
this
the. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so how this kind of started though was um so I lost my brother in 2018 from an overdose. I found him. I was also 6 months pregnant with my son at the time, and this caused a lot of trauma and PTSD. I was working in the field of addiction at the time, and had also tried to help my brother multiple times. So, like, I know that I did everything that I could to try to help, and it still wasn't enough. Um, and then, so I lost my brother. I took I took a mental break from the addiction field. It was just too much, and I just needed to get myself um, in a better place again. So I've been in therapy for the last 3 years. Um, and that all started because like I wanted I know I didn't want to use, but I definitely didn't want to be here living and feeling the way I was. And I didn't know how to do that. Um, so obviously I was not in a good mental place. And this was before like I got on mental health meds, and I do take mental health meds because it's an important piece of my recovery. I fought it for a long time, because I didn't want to accept that I needed them. Um, so I make that part of my daily routine. I wake up and I take my medication at
You gotta do what you
usually
gotta
the
do.
same time.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And I noticed when I do that, I have a lot of less ups and downs. So I take my medicine. Um, and then I also go to counseling. So I was in therapy for PTSD and working on myself for the last 3 years. And then, so I was going to write a book. And at the end of the book, I was going to um, end my life, and I was going to kind of leave that legacy. It sounds crazy because I was like giving myself time to write a book. But also that was the plan. And I knew at that point, like, I needed help. So I got a therapist. I reached out for help. I knew that my brain was out to get me, and that, like, I just, I knew that what it was feeding me was not how my heart and soul was supposed to be aligned, if that makes sense. So, um, yeah, I got help. I told somebody about it, and now I take my medication on a regular basis and work on myself. So that kind of brought me to like where I am now. I knew I wanted to continue to help people. Um, I didn't want to be like too involved, I guess. Um, like in the whole recovery
So,
process. I believe in just giving the resources out there, and it's the person's choice to make the effort. to go get the help, like I have been in positions where I've tried to just make someone go to treatment or pick them up or like force it, and it never worked.
And not until we're ready.
This lot, yeah. So as long as people have the information or plant a seed, then maybe they'll use it one day or pick up that phone and ask for help like I did or something. I don't know. I just feel like the information should be available. Not that it's not now, because there's a lot of wonderful people in Delaware that are doing amazing things. And I just want to be another source to give out that information in Delaware. And I can do that by going to like yoga studios, gyms, sporting events, recovery.
Podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and what is going on with that? Talk to us now. You have something else coming up? You
Yeah.
have a couple more things coming up.
So when I got help, I also was influenced to get help by listening to music. Music has always been a huge aspect in my recovery. I was like, I had the Eminem CD, recovery in treatment, and like kept getting in trouble because then I still had behaviors, and so I just didn't understand why I wasn't allowed to have my Eminem recovery CD in treatment, but it was a rule, and I was defiant. But music has been a huge aspect in my recovery, and I've always been sort of like a fangirl, I guess you would say. But I found an artist named Echo.
Echo.
And it all started Echo. So EKOH. And he has built this community called Heart Hop. And he raps and like has a different genre basically of music about mental health, substance abuse, and just a real authentic, genuine message. So I absolutely love him and what he's doing in this community. And like, so then I run a Facebook group for the Heart Hop family. And we're just like a whole community that loves Echo and loves to talk about him and his lyrics and how he impacted our lives. And I've personally met him 3 times already.
So how has Echo impacted your life? How did he impact your life?
So for one, he has a song called Trauma.
That's the only one. I listened to that song. That's the only one I listened to, y'all. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's my favorite. No, please. I'm definitely an interrupter, so sorry.
Interrupt each other.
So part of my healing process and listening to Echo was getting a tattoo. So I got the Heart Hop symbol tattooed on me. He has a song called Butterfly. So I have the butterfly, and it has like a semicolon in the butterfly for mental health. And then the paintbrush, he has a song called Paint that's really amazing. And then the lyrics from Trauma are on my arm, and it says, it's silent little cuts in the soul that get neglected. And I feel like, those are all the things that have happened that affected me, and I never spoke up, communicated about it, said something, set a boundary, whatever it was. and that's what it means to me, like those silent little cuts that I held in, or hid away somewhere. So that's how that lyric personally, like, means something to me. And then I have, when it's not the brush or the canvas or the colors, it's the way you paint. So I believe, like, it's not your outward appearance, it's really like your authenticity and like what you show the world, like your true self. And that, like, what attracts people. Like, personally, I'm attracted to people who are authentic and genuine and honest. And I don't really love having surface level conversations. I like these deep, meaningful, spiritual conversations. And I connected with Echo's lyrics in almost all his songs. So I found one, and then I found like 120. So he's been a huge influence in my life.
Is Echo a local artist, or is
So,
how did you find out about Echo?
yeah, crazy story. Echo is from Vegas. Um, and how I found him, there was like this a lyric challenge, I guess, on TikTok. And I follow Jelly Roll and Bunny on social media. And I was subscribed to Bunny's podcast. And I guess Echo did a verse on Jelly Roll's Son of a Sinner song. And I absolutely loved it. I started like looking at more of his songs, and I found like tons. So literally, he has a song for every emotion, like, he's anti-genre, independent, he does everything himself. He never really fell into the traps of like record labels or whatever that chaos is. I don't even know or want to go into it, but I love that, like, he's just doing it on his own, and it inspired me to do
And making an impact.
stuff. Yeah, making an impact. And like, so um the hard hop community, like, we've kind of built like a support group in this. And I'm gonna start like my own podcast for the fans of Echo. So I kind of want to get to know the people who love him like I do, and their stories. And because I know personally he's affected my life so much, his music has affected my life so much, that like there's a whole community of people that are doing this thing and just getting through life because of. And it's really amazing. Like, his music has really changed my views in living. Like, before this, I did not want to live anymore, and I do now. I wake up, I want to be awake. I want to experience another concert. I want to experience another friendship or whatever the day brings. Like, I didn't want that before. So it's a miracle. And he, like, sparked that light inside me again.
To keep going. Use something to look
Yeah,
forward to during the course of a day. And speaking of something to look forward
absolutely.
to, I don't think we got enough into the goal of the Heart Hop family and the Rerouted Cafe. You did go into the Rerouted Cafe, the goal, but with the Heart Hop family, what is the goal of that uh, of that part of social media for you?
Yeah. So there is an official Heart Hop group, and Echo is in that one. Um And it kind of started because we were going to do this birthday video for Echo last year. And we started like messaging members, and there's like a lot of people in that group. And somehow the admins got mad and kicked my friend out. So he initially like made Heart Hop, and then we kind of did it. Heart Hop family. Echo made Heart Hop. Don't get me wrong. I said that wrong.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you don't need no legal
So
issues.
yeah, no. Um, so I just run like a subgroup off that, and we've kind of built our own support group. Like we just lift each other up, and it's not so much um, supporting each other like financially or like anything like that, but like if somebody's going through something, they have a safe space to kind of say, hey, I need some support, and somebody's going to be there and reach out and talk to that person. And I love that community. I love, because I'm like that. You know, if I could say something to help or get through the next 5 minutes for someone, like I
Just
would
an
do it,
encouragement.
you know?
Just a little
Yeah,
bit of encouragement.
absolutely.
Sometimes we never
Yeah,
know.
so
We never know how much we can impact somebody else, but just by a few words.
yeah. And I'm honestly super disappointed in the way the healthcare system in Delaware and right now is. Maybe it's going to get better. I hope it does with collaborations. And so with Rerooted Cafe and Recovery Hub, it started because the my daughter's father, I have an 18-year-old daughter. My daughter's father struggled with addiction her whole life. He's been in and out of countless treatment centers, and every time he was like ready to go, he would call me because he knew like I wouldn't put up with, like I wasn't co-signing anything. So he knew, like I knew when he called me, he was ready to go to treatment. Um, his last time there was a situation, he ended up in the hospital with pneumonia and just some stuff, and like it was just so sad. So nobody called us. Me and my daughter went to the hospital, like gave the social worker our information, like said he's been homeless for a while and he would really need to like go somewhere after. Nobody called us. um I don't know if was supposed to just like sit there all day and wait for somebody, but I have a life and a full-time job, and so I couldn't. But I did go up there and like give my phone number and try to like get somebody to call me. And they discharged him to a bus stop in the middle of like winter. The man couldn't walk to the car, so um, me and my fiance like went and got him from the bus stop and like got his meds for him and like brought him home and fed him and like got him strong enough to be able to go to rehab, because like I don't know, it's just sad. So I'm disappointed with the system. It shouldn't have been me. I'm glad that I had the opportunity and grateful like that I worked from home and I was able to do that for him. Because now he's in a long-term treatment program, the same long-term treatment program I went through 14 years ago, which gives me chills, but it's like full circle. And like
So now at
I
least you
wish
can.
I
Now
wish
you
it would
can.
have been the community though to help. I wish it would have. So I hope that like I can bring some kind of changes to that whole process. Um,
And your
so
plan and
yeah,
your plan is to do that with Heart Hop and Reroot and the cafe, Rerouted Cafe.
yeah, absolutely. So by kind of having my own business, I'm able to incorporate recovery, echo, and the food truck to get out and to meet people and have
That's a
those
lot.
conversations in the community that are hard. And, maybe somebody would feel more comfortable in that kind of setting. Um, and hopefully, like, I can connect people to some resources for anything they may be going through.
Actually, when you first mentioned it, it sounds like it's to me. It sounded like that's a lot. That's a lot to take on. But if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. And it depends on the individual. Some people can handle that. Those three different things, those three different business conceptions. Um,
Yeah,
but
I definitely see it being more of a hobby at this point. Um, so like weekends and events and stuff like that, because I do work full time. And
and work.
um, yeah, so it is a lot, and balance has always been a struggle for me. So trying to find that balance in all those areas is always difficult. But I'm just trying to stay busy and like keep it moving and try to get out there. And um, my daughter is a CNA, so she kind of could do at some point like a medical piece in the future if she wanted to. She's in college right now for nursing, so like um, it's all aligning somehow. So I'm just putting the roots in.
So,
And
if you
speaking
have
of
you
that, like,
established, go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, have you established anything with your podcast yet? Name, is
Um,
there a name that all it and the concept that people can
yeah,
actually look
so
for?
yeah, absolutely. So I haven't actually done an episode, and I think I do need to like start out by kind of going into my story. Um, so, but also there's a couple of people that I need to interview like as soon as possible. So, um, I want to I hope this to be like my motivation, kind of to be comfortable on camera, because that was one of the things like I've struggled with personally. I don't love my voice, and like but I'm 40 and so at a point in my life where I have stopped caring what people think about me.
Well, there you
Thank
go.
God. So
Well, there you go.
yeah, I just needed to get there by doing this. I think I cared way too much what people thought my whole life, and I shouldn't have. I should have just been able to dance and live life and
I don't know about
all
the
that
dancing part.
way sooner.
I don't know about the
Yeah,
dancing part, but it is what it is.
right.
All right. So, and our final question before we wrap this up, I had a couple questions. Actually, one question with a couple different facets. So, what information do you have for individuals that want to find out more about the Heart Hop family and the Rerouted Cafe and Recovery Hub? Can you do you have information that you like to leave for people to? How would people contact you, or how would people find out more information about these two things?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a website. It's re-rooted cafe and recovery hub.com. Tells you a little bit about who I am and what the potential menu would look like, and also that we are trying to get sponsors and any help to kind of get this moving as soon as possible, so I can get out there and get talking to people and get the information out to others. Um, and then I'm also on Facebook. There's a page for Rerouted Cafe and Recovery Hub. The Heart Hop Family group is a private group on Facebook, but if you reach out to me on Facebook via Messenger or another way, email, I would absolutely send an invite. So,
All right. Okay, Marilyn. And I
yeah,
just want to say this. I just want to say thank you for being on for the night. And just understand that we discussed this before. The goal is to actually just to get the information out and hopefully reach a solution and hopefully that somebody else will grab the information and run with it as much as they
yeah,
possibly can. You know, this is not it's not easy.
absolutely.
It's not easy living this life. But do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah,
Have anything else for
so
us, Marilyn?
yeah, so
Support Echo. No.
Support Echo. There are many ways to recover. Recovery doesn't have to fit in one box. I personally attend in an alternative recovery group that's online based, and I have met some really amazing people from all over the country and other countries, and we all share the same kind of mission in just like the spiritual aspect and still working on ourselves on a different level through the steps. So if you're interested in anything like that or alternative recovery groups, absolutely reach out as well. And I have that information to give. So I just believe, in harm reduction, and the point of recovery at this point is so people don't die. So if we could just help that be the focus, people not dying, So
Because that rate is really crazy right now.
Anything that helps not dying can be recovery. So
Not
harm
dying
reduction.
from the addiction. Or actually not just the addiction, though. Also, we have to remember the mental health side too.
Absolutely.
They go hand in hand. They go hand
There
in
has
hand.
been, I think, 6. I'm trying to use the right language here on the Delaware ending of life on the Delaware Memorial Bridge, and that is an unbelievable number this year, and I am just so sad, and people just need to reach out. Like, I will always answer my phone. I might, if I'm doing something, obviously I might miss it, but I'll get back as soon as possible. There's absolutely a community out there that cares, and I want to believe that there's more good in this world, and trying to put out my piece of trying to help in this whole process of life.
One out of helping another without parallel. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the night. We're going to end this podcast right now. So I just want to say thank you, Marilyn, for coming on. Thank you for offering your advice. Thank you for giving us your information. Thank you for sharing your story, part of your story, and congratulations on your clean time. Congratulations on your business endeavors. Congratulations on meeting Echo, and that's all I wanted to say for the night. But thank everybody for being in attendance. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Be blessed. Be safe.
Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.